2 and 2, baby. 2 and 2. We getting 2 and 2. We waiting on YouTube to kick in, and I got you. I got you with the YouTube and for y'all at the same time. Like I started story time on Instagram, but I couldn't. It's I do it with y'all. Do me a favor, share a line. We get right into it. I ain't got nothing to know. Stop sharing my story with the gram, because y'all be hitting YouTube. Fire. What y'all? Can't take it to tube, you on fire. YouTube on fire. Instagram y'all slipping. I got y'all on trip. YouTube steady climbing. Jeez. Y'all slipping. All right, so let's do a shut live. We get ready to do it. So we find out the app. We find out our album logo. I say our album because I'm talking about that in the tech guy that album is called. We find out the album logo. We we like, yeah, it's a payday. We need our bread, right? On top of that, we wanted to do a second single because my album went gold with one single. I only had dropped one single. The album went gold within like 60 days. So we ready to drop another single. Like we don't understand the game of it, right? But I mean, we was knowing the game. When we got ready to drop the second single, P told us don't worry about no second single. Do another album. If we did another album, we was guaranteed $250,000. All we had to do was do another album. We was guaranteed that. We started learning the game, so we realized that we was out there because you gotta understand nobody from the label. Only people that was going gold that fast was like C Murder, BX, uh, Mystical sometime. Like, but I was in the top 10. I wasn't even really a part of No Limit, but I was in the top 10 for an album sales that fast. Boom. We called PP like, don't worry about doing another single. First we called Priority. We asked them what's up with the second single. They're like, man, you got nothing to do with the second single. That's Master P job. I'm like, that's Master P job. They're like, yeah, they ain't got nothing to do with us. We'll soon find out was they gave us $1 million, right? P took 500,000. We took 500,000. His 500,000 he was supposed to invest in. Like, he's supposed to do the second single. Now, mind you, he was right about not doing it because we really didn't have to. All we had to do was go back and get another $1 million. But the album did so good, we wanted it to go platinum, right? Like I was big on my album going platinum because the album done so good. Like a lot of people don't know. Like in that time when I dropped that album, and why a lot of people know me so much in different places because that was the second. Uh, well, it's only one album that I was sold me that year, and that was Trick Daddy album. So no, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm talking about the second scene. I'm talking about the second album. Let me recap. But the Brick Living album sold in places that No Limit wasn't used to selling. Like I was selling in Chicago, y'all, like I wasn't just selling in the southern region. And a lot of the albums was just selling in the southern region, besides like Slim, Mia, Fiend, Mac, certain albums that wasn't selling in the region. But that was my big region. So boom, we asked people out the second single, like no. After we call them, they tell us we ain't got nothing to do with the second single. That's P. We called P about it. He like, nah, don't do no second single. Start on a new album. Get a new button. Like, alright. But we still like when P tell us that we still what up, y'all? We still want our money. Like we feel like we should get paid for the album of it before it's gonna go. P telling us don't worry about that, you're gonna get a check, the check gonna come and all that kind of stuff. You know us, we not waiting on them. In the midst of it, we keep calling people out the single, we stop answering the phone. So, Dodo come up with this bright idea. He said, we're going to Cali. Fuck, I ain't care. We shoot the Cali, we go to Priority Office. It's a dude, if you look at the NWA movie, that dude that they had in that, Brian Turner, he a real dude. Like, that's who actually signed me to Priority with them. I always look at that scene and I be like, I think they really was portraying the shit that we did when we went to Priority Records. Cause listen, so we fly down, get in the hotel, calling Priority. We telling them we down there, so they're like, cool, we'll meet with y'all. But we ain't telling them it's about the money, right? They're like, cool, we gonna meet with y'all. We ain't telling them it's nothing about the money. We go up there, get through security and all that. When we get up there, Dodo starts pitching the bitch out the money. It's me, Dodo, Big U, and Victor. Dodo pitching the bitch out the money. He like, we ain't getting no check. Where our check at? All that, right? Brian is telling him, I already cut y'all check. I cut y'all check to Master P. Dodo did not want it. We're in that same kind of office. Dodo pick up a vase, throw it on the ground. It busts. Brian jump from behind the desk because he don't know what we about to do. Victor is the most ignorant person in the world. Victor gets out of his chair, picks up his chair, and throws his chair on the ground. So we literally in there, we fucking this man off or something. Mind you think about this, right? And people probably don't understand it. That's why I say, like, I think, like, a part of that NWA movie shit, like when they showed the shit with Ice Cube, like, that's the shit that we went up there. I'm telling you, we fuck. Understand this, right? When we go up there, we 200,000 strong. Legal money. We probably 400 and something strong on illegal money. So we really don't, like, we honestly, once we got in office, we went there to go to jail. Like, we went there to make that kind of statement. Like, we was like, we gonna fuck this bitch up. We tearing this fucking man office up. He called security. Security come up there. We don't give a fuck about them. It's two dudes in the suit. It's me, Doe, Big U, and Vic. We don't give a fuck about no security. But they wasn't used to that because we Southern, and we talk crazy, we cursing them out, calling them funky bitches. You better not put your fucking hands on me, telling security that when they trying to tell us to get out. Mind you, Boswell's walking down the hall. Boswell, Pete right here. Boswell walking. Boswell, I'm lying. I think we saw Boswell coming in, and we told her we was gonna have a meeting. When Doe broke the vase, Brian called Pete. P was at his house somewhere in Cal. Bob's happened to be in priority that day. So they think it's Cabax Bob. Boswell can tell you this is real motherfucking rap, right? Boswell can tell you this is real motherfucking rap. So Boswell coming in, he trying to stop us from going crazy. Nigga got respect for Boswell, so Alright, guys. We tell him, look, man, you need to cut us our check. We need our money. Period. We're not leaving here without our money. Guys get on the phone with P. I don't know what P and Doe and Victor discuss. They like, all right, right? Doe like on the phone, like, man, fuck all that. I won't get off this late. Fuck pride. P buys him and they go back and forth. They call Brian on the phone. That's how I got out my priority contract. Mind you, though, I passed up, with us getting out that contract, we passed up us $2 million. Because once my album went gold, the next budget was bigger. Meaning P would have got, instead of getting $1 million, he'd have got $2 million because my album went gold. So we'd have got $1 million instead of getting 500. I was guaranteed that for two more. Um, but the album went crazy so fast, and like what people don't understand is this how we knew the album was on bubble and we knew something. First of all, when I got the call that said that my album went gold, I was in the project. I'm talking about literally like I had a shot in the project. I had money, don't get that twisted. Because we hadn't got our money, but I had a shot in the project. I'm sitting on the porch with a pistol. And they called Dodo, called me and said, that album went gold, let's go celebrate. I'm like, that album went gold? Like, we just put the motherfucker out. But we knew it was a bubble on the album because the week, like the second week after the album came out, Source Magazine flew me up there. That's how I got, like, I was one of the, like, look, if you go back and look at the Source Magazine, like, at that time, like, New York wasn't giving the South no props. I got 3.5 mics on 5 mics. Like, you can go back and look at the No Limit albums and go see who all got 3.5 mics. And when they was talking about me, they was talking about lyricism and all that shit. Like, that's why, like, I took a picture, like a mafia boss type picture. But like New York was on me like crazy. So we knew it was something going on with the album. We didn't know exactly like how crazy it was going because we wasn't up on stats and all that. We just waiting on funds. But the album went gold so fast, we like shit, we need another million right quick or so. On top of that, look, I looked at a little dude, I don't know his name. So I'm gonna go back and look at it because I just was looking at a lot of the stuff. And he said he got banned from BET for throwing money. Go back and look at my BET live performance. We the first people to throw money at BET Live. Like I was on there with Monique, and I forgot the red dude name. He a comedian, but we was throwing real money because we treated it like a strip club. Like we threw like 4,000 in the crowd. So like we treated BET Live like a strip club. That's why the crowd was so hype and all that. People always ask me why I was so hoarse when I did it because what you don't understand is we had to do that. I did that verse like 4 times because they catch you from all different angles. Like they probably don't do that now because they have more cameras. But back then, man, BET probably had 2 cameras. So we did that. We did that set 3 times. So by the time the third one came, I was hoarse as hell. And if you look at it in the back, we got a pilot named Nomad. He's pitching CDs in the crowd. Like they, you know how the CDs come in the case? He's throwing them in the crowd. And if you pay attention, like you see us looking at him like, "Who threw that?" But cause he's throwing CDs in the crowd. Like, but that's what we used to doing. Like we coming from the city. Like the crazy thing is when we stopped at on the way to BET Live, we getting a little more. We asked the man, stop somewhere so we can get some ones. No, we say stop somewhere so we can get like some. We want to get some change because Dodo came up with the bright idea. Like we gonna throw money because we know we gonna have a performance. Mind you, like another thing is like we scrapped for that BET Live performance. That came from our manager. Somebody canceled. I think it was Trick Dad too. I think Trick Dad canceled. So they called us Friday, and we had to be there Saturday night. Man, we hurry up now. So That's really how I got BET Live. Um, on top of that, like what also made my record sell so much that a lot of people didn't pay attention to was for 2 years, um, Roxy and Ray J, every time they went to commercial, they played my music in the background. They ba-dum, 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 bum, ba-dum. And like we didn't even realize it until one day somebody told us about it. But I never knew that there was. So P made so much money off them playing in the background because I knew he owned the beat. What I can say about P is he taught me copyright first. So I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. But I can tell you an instance where he cost me some money that he could have P could have made. Um, and like I ain't I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave y'all with this, and I'll tell this on the next story. But Dodo family really felt some kind of way because we had an opportunity to be, we had an opportunity to make a $5 million lick for ourselves. P was gonna get him $1 million. Stunner didn't even want that. I'll tell y'all about that. But I had an opportunity. Russell Simmons wanted me to put Master P and Baby on the same album. It was my second album after we got dropped from Ferrari. So my whole dream was always to be signed with Def Jam. Um, if if P would have made that happen, Dodo probably wouldn't be dead. I can honestly say that because we was gone. I'll tell y'all about that on the next story. Love, respect, man. Love you. Yeah, thank you. Subscribe, hit the link, all that. You know, I don't really be knowing what to do. Y'all support it. Y'all know what I do. What you say? Y'all can ask a few questions if y'all want to, because I don't never really get a shot with y'all. The new budget. Jadakiss always said that when people didn't get it. Like the best thing about having a new album is getting a new budget because you get paid. Like you get money and you get to look good again because you get not only that you get money, like you get posters, you get T-shirts, you get billboards, like it's a brand new you, and you get a few dollars. So Jada gets one line about that. Come on, Q in there. I gotta let time chop it. What you want? Say man, listen. Light work. Like I'm always be around. Like, too hard to get rid of me, my G. Please hold on. If it wasn't for where you at, Woody, I wouldn't be doing music. Like that's why I say I ain't never got none. I can't really say that bad about people because I still get personal. I remember I told Weeby one time, bro, I'm like, Weeby, when Weeby first signed with Master P, right? And he just didn't understand. I was like, you gotta get your publishing. I mean, eventually it'll happen, I guess. But you know, like, certain conversations gotta be had off the internet before you have them on. That's just it. You know, some things be personal. Like, if you ever show respect for a person and then you feel like that trust is betrayed, like the conversation don't really be for the internet. shit so fucked up nowadays. Like you gotta be careful how you speak on shit. Like shit just crazy. But like all I can say is like that's some in-house shit. That shit will be dealt with in-house. Yeah, we went to. That's how we got a deal. We went to some after people. That's how I got my deal. That's facts. As like I tell a story about when Fat Fat came interview me in the project. I always talk about that. Cause that shit could have turned out bad. I had all them kids out there. Like I got so much. That's why I got so much respect for the Cali. Like that's when I asked. You know when I saw one of my partners coming through the cut and was flagging him down. I let something pop off that really could have popped off. And that's why I got respect for my homie right now. Like that's one of the biggest respect I had for one of my partners out the project. See, I just really I thought about that like last night. Say that's love, bro. Like, see, like, listen, like, man, you do it on you, homie, who say you was one of them youngins out there. Want you make sure you put a comment in the thing so I could get with you. Like, because a lot of people like I don't think they understand like how a Willow Street Core was, and I be looking for a lot of y'all like that because I don't think people understand like how a Willow Street Core was. I tell them it was different. Like we was family, like that we was real family. Like we looked out for each other. And like that's why when I did my interviews, I came back to Willow Street. That's why when I shot my pot off, or you at Wody, like I was throwing real money on the ground. It was kids down there. I was throwing real money, and I had two of us out there probably get ready to go on too. But like it's a whole lot of things I don't speak on because people be like it's a receipt game, right? And like I ain't got time to be digging up things, but I know I'm speaking on. For real. But I could tell y'all some stories, and I'm even telling you about music. Like it's a lot of records from the city that I got a lot to do with that I just don't speak on. Because soon as you speak on something for yourself, it's like discrediting another person. I ain't got no time for this. If I say it, it's because I stand on it. Say we really was, well, we was a big old family. Like, we really was. And I don't think, like, people understand how many came from there. Like, from Shorty Mike. Like, it was a lot of them. You swing through that 411 from around there. Sean them. Uh, man, it was so many like it, y'all. Like, it was so many, and it just used to be so different. Like, that cold way. Like, you ain't never heard about no kids getting shot now cold way. Wasn't gonna happen. And mind you, them kids was standing in the same code with that giggity gangster be telling y'all about. But wasn't no kids getting shot now cold. Like we really looked out for each other. Like I wasn't under I like listen, bro, like I'm one person who was flat dead in the middle of that. Like so I ain't get a lot from P or get a lot from Baby, but you gotta understand this, like right, I was rapping with P, but I go back to the hood by the niggas who was fucking with Stunner. I fuck with Stunner. Like I do business with Stunner to this day. But like I ain't that's why a lot of that shit like I used to be like, man, these niggas tripping. And I'm not talking about as in Stunner P, I'm talking about as in what people thought of it. I think people made it bigger than what it was. Cause when it came my time, Stunner wasn't really doing no tripping. Like I could tell you that. Like Big Homie wasn't on one no kind of tripping. And I guess that was off the benefit of something that he was trying to do for me. So like, I wasn't doing no tripping. Like, but as in relationships, I have a better relationship with Stunner. Always did because it's just different. Like I come up on the like Stunner brother and shit like that. The rivals from around there too. Sean, Jamichael. Come on, bro. Like, come on. Like they don't know. Like Willow Street was almost Willow Street had them a whole. Willow Street was half of the DBs. Like from 411, Rob, Stupid. Who else? Like Willow Street was a lot of the DBs. It's crazy. Like even Johnny Boo. Johnny Boo used to run through Willow Street a hell of a lot when he was young. Cause like that was it was the place to be. Like Willow Street was the place to be. Key, like Willow Street was the place to be though. Like it was pumping. Like Willow Street used to be pumping. Well, like I could tell you all this. Like I have a million stories, right? But some things are best left unsaid because I don't do that to ruffle no feathers or nothing like that, right? But the only reason why I even tell stories is because yeah, I remember Turk at the young. I remember one time I told Turk I had to pass the piss test when he was going to court. Me and Turk almost did a whole diss together. That's something else too. But um, I just hear a lot of people telling our stories and they be having that shit so bad. So I just was like, man, ain't nobody gonna tell my story. Like, motherfuckers wanna know something about me, I'm gonna tell it. Like, so that's the only reason why I even be telling stories. Saying that Willow Cole, bro, listen, that Willow Cole was something different. See, I'ma tell them, well, like, majority of my partners dead and stuff like that. Like, what I don't like to do is this, right? It, 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 it get under my skin to tell y'all stories that ended bad, right? Because I got to think about my homies that passed through the stories, okay? And for me to tell y'all stories that ended good, it defeats the purpose of being positive. So it's kind of a knowing situation, so it's hard to kind of tell them, you know what I'm saying? Like they end this way or that way. That's the only way they end. Hit me, man. I'm with interviews. Like I don't be doing no triple. Like I ain't on that. Like with the interviewers, like I don't even be charging. I tell you, donate something to the football team and I'm cool. Donate something to my little league football team and I'm cool. So hit me on Instagram though. Hit me on Instagram. Jet Life General Cello. Hit me on Instagram now while I'm on it. It's Jet Life General Cello. Jet Life spelled a regular way. General right behind it. CELO. Like hit me on Instagram. We try to. It's cool. I ain't doing no trip. Cause I don't have no problem with telling my stories. Like I'm good with interviews. I know how to not incriminate myself. But sometimes within these stories, you'll say too much, or somebody feels some kind of way when that's not your intentions. And like I ain't learned this internet like this. Like I haven't learned. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So it's difficult for me to tell stories, and especially when at the end of the day it's not a positive or negative. I mean it's not positive at the end. It's either something stupid happened, or I did something stupid, or people got killed doing it, and all that. Like was like I don't know. So that's why I'm careful about the story, like because at the end of the day, like we be saying, don't do what we did, but we tell you about it. It's like telling you about it sometimes is almost like glorifying. I learned everything from Black and Mo. Like I learned my style of dressing come from Black and Mo. Like Black and Mo was the freshest G in the project. Like nobody was fresher than Black and Mo. Like Black and Mo was the first person I saw wear two different colored jobs. And he was a G. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a thing that I respected about Black and Mo was, and he taught me like territory. I can say that because Black would do all kind of stuff outside that project, but inside that project he was protected. So he always knew all he had to do was get back to that project, and he was protected because it was different to get through that, to get through that kind of, to get to him to get through that project. That was something different. But like it wasn't like Black wasn't all bad, man. Black used to, if Black hit, Black come through there and pop us off. And he showed us style. Like, man, Black was wearing polos with the J's and all that. Like, I think Black probably the first person I saw was probably some. One time I saw the dude go do that on some blue jabot jeans, a red polo with the blue man, and the white Jordans with the grad at the bottom, the one that Slim used to wear. Like, that was so fresh to us. Like Mo used to be super fresh. I'm talking about on the daily. Like he ain't never he was one of them who wouldn't wear the same pair of tennis twice. And he always gave like his true story when Levy tell y'all like I was sitting on the porch, Black and Mo was I ain't gonna he was talking to us crazy, like just testing us and Magnolia Levy was walking by with some bread for his mom, and Black and Mo took it and made a sandwich, lunch meat sandwich. That's a true story from Magnolia Levy. I was on the porch where Black and Mo come from. Say what's crazy is Big Heavy is my brother. A lot of people don't know that need to even sign with Cash Money. I forgot. I ain't never told Stunner that need. That's my brother. Oh. Got a song like I got really obsessed, this big old buzz, and to keep a little skunk stashed under the rug. And that was my brother. I never knew it until my daddy passed. Like now, me and him communicate and everything. But that's my daddy's son. Like Papa was definitely a Rolling Stone. I can't say I'm too much different neither because I got some kids over 10, raised over 20. My partner told me how to do this. You heard me? I'm over 30 minutes. We go to 35 minutes, but I'm gonna tell y'all like this: just subscribe, um, tap in, hit the bell, show some love. They should have as many people in here. They should have that many likes. Hot Boy is so big in New Orleans because the Hot Boy was real street dudes. Like, go look at the Vlad interview, and you'll probably understand it. But I wouldn't consider myself one of the hot boys, but he'll tell y'all some things that like we was the hot boys in the project, but it wasn't on the level that they were. Like we was on the level where we had a lot of girls and we was getting money. Like because a lot of them was in the streets way before me. I ain't gonna say way before me, but before me. But when it came to girls and getting money, we was on that. We was hustlers. They did their thing another way. The Grinch, man, y'all know what we do. As far as anybody with the interviews, you know what to do. Tapping. Uh, I'll put y'all on the cash app so y'all understand. I'll put y'all on the cash app so y'all can donate to my Little League football team. Um, Everything else, y'all know what it is. Beware the podcast, Chopping Gang, me and my OGG, Boom Multimedia. We ain't going nowhere, play boy. You think?